Good evening and thanks for joining me in this video. Today is first Sunday of January 2025, being the 5th. Now, before today, the whole Nigerians know about the complicity of Miyetti Allah Association of cattle breeders with the so-called Fulani herdsmen who are terrorizing almost the whole Nigeria now. So at the time they claim that they are responsible for all those attacks. At the time, you all know the head of Miyetti Allah was arrested by DSS, they detained him. But you know, they own the power that be in Nigeria. They release him without noise. No senator wrote to release him. No governor wrote to release him as the Southeasterners are doing for the case of Nnamdi Kanu. You know, as time goes on, I was warning though, that time will come, these lions you are feeding, they will come against you. And when they will come against you, that time, nobody is going to pity you. And what I predicted then has started happening today. So what is going on in Katsina? This is the news that Bändits killed Katsina Miyetti Allah chairman, kidnapped his 2 wives and daughter. Bändits killed Katsina Miyetti Allah chairman, kidnapped his 2 wives and daughter. In other words, they killed this man, they took 2 of his wives, probably to go and marry them off in the bush, and also a daughter. It doesn't make sense, but that is what they breeded. Now let's look at what transpired. The article reads that Alhaji Surajo Ahmed, the Katsina State Chairman of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, has been killed by suspected bandits who attacked his residence in Mai Rana community, Kusada local government area of Katsina State. According to the Association National President Alhaji Baba Osman Ngazama, the attackers who struck at 10 p.m. on Saturday also kidnapped 2 of his wives and daughter. He added that the association has contacted the police and other security agencies to investigate the matter and ensure the release of the kidnapped victims. The incident happened yesterday around 10 p.m. in the night. We have contacted the police and other security bodies for intervention, he said. The article continues. Abubakar Sadiq Aliyu, the police public relations officer of the Katsina State Command, did not answer his call or reply to a text message sent to him. Now, let me pause. I will continue with the article. This is, a routine response, because silence is a response, right? So this is a routine response of the police in this case of bandits. Whenever bandits are striking, when I mean bandits, for people who are not Nigerians, they are terrorists that Nigerians have tagged bandits, but they are terrorists, okay? They carry AK-47, they terrorize, they kidnap, they kill, they do all sorts of things against people. Now, people who are sponsoring them, who claim that yes, they are the ones sponsoring them on in live television, who always defend them, they have turned their back and they started killing them now. So their chairman in Katsina, the Katsina is just like the hub of banditry in Nigeria, the hub of insecurity, apart from Borno State of Boko Haram and ISWAP. Katsina is the hub of all these, murder banditry. Even the Katsina State governor said this, that they know them, they know where they live, they know everything about them, that they are not hidden. So that is why the insecurity situation in Nigeria is something that is so complicated. And every now and then I advise Nigeria security agent, the Nigeria government, to remove their eyes from the southern part of the country. Remove your eyes from the eastern part of the country. Because the insecurity in the eastern parts of the country is because of clash of interest. It's well understood. It's because you people don't want people to agitate, you don't want to suffer, you don't want to release Nnamdi Kanu. And you are even planning to extradite another person in the name of Simon Ekpa to come again and join. These people also have followers that is going to instigate the crisis that we already have. So the government, they are always making mistakes, doing the wrong thing. And this is where we find ourselves. Now tell me, the bandits are not turning against their masters. Is it not going to be catastrophic? Is it not going to be a war that is about to start? But there is a reason why this thing happened. I will let you know later. Let's continue with the article. Now, last year, Sahara reporters reported that a coalition of Fulani groups of Plateau State lost 350 members between October 2023 and January 2024. You have to understand this. A coalition of Fulani groups in Plateau State lost 350 members between October 2023 and January 2024. This is a very important something that you need to put in mind. And that is why when you hear the CDS, Musa, the chief of defense staff, when he said there is a war between the Hausas and Fulani. This is what he meant.
Tell ourselves the truth. What is going on in the Northwest is the Hausa Fulani fight. We don't mention it. That is the bottom line.
So, if only in Plateau State, the members of this association lost almost 350 people, it should tell you that yes, indeed, there is something like a war going on, okay? Now, the article continues. The group also claimed that it lost 834 cows within the period in various communities in Barakendade, Bekos, and Magundoko government areas of the state. So CDS was right when he said there is a war between Hausas and Fulanese. Now, let me finish the remaining 2 paragraphs of the article so that we look into the details of this. Now, it said that the atrocities committed against the Fulani includes the razing of the more than 115 villages which destroy properties and food items. The group explained that household properties worth billions of naira were also lost during the carnage, adding that Fulani communities were displaced from 8 districts including Mangu, Panyam, Pushit, Kerang, and so on and so forth. Now, after this thing happened, do you remember what happened about 2 days ago? Where Fulani community just come out, they said, we want peace. We want peace. We don't want war again. We want peace. So, now, the Hausa community, they are awake. Their eyes has opened. I am sorry to, objected what the CDS said before about this war between Hausas and Fulani. So, because I was thinking that this war he's talking about is not what he's supposed to go to Qatar to tell them that what we have in Nigeria is between Hausas and Fulani war. Now I begin to understand, because almost everywhere Fulanis are staying in Nigeria now, the other opposing party are now striking, destroying their properties, retaliating, killing the Miyetti, and they are using now the bandits they train that they were using against them. They are now using the bandits to fight them back. When is all this thing going to stop? Anyway, let me know what you think about this. If you have not seen this video, take a listen to what CDS said.
Tell ourselves the truth. What is going on in the Northwest is the Hausa Fulani fight. We don't mention it. That is the bottom line. The Fulani man feels anytime he comes to town, he's molested, he's killed. The Hausa man believes that the Fulani man using his headsmen enters his farm and destroys his crops. So it's been a long time, I'm sure you're aware, it's been a long time issue that had not been addressed. So it's a political issue that should have been settled before. It had been allowed until it evolved to what it is today. Now, acts of criminality now came in. When acts of criminality came in, they felt that now, because the borders, I mentioned the issue of porous borders where weapons are moving in and out, and that's why they felt that, yes, since their cows are being attacked, they too should be protected. And that's why you see major of them carrying arms. And before you know it, those that didn't have cows started into acts of armed robbery, small stealing, until it graduated to what it is now. Then the Boko Haram, with the hit they got in the Northeast, a lot of them moved. So it's a convergence of criminality that has come together to build up to what the acts of banditry. And the only way they make money is what? Kidnapping. When they kidnap, they make money. Now, the state governments, yes, in order to address that, I personally support civilian JTF. We use them effectively in the Northeast. But how did we apply them in the Northwest? What we did, the communities were the ones that identified youths that had character, that were reliable, that were honest. They brought out those names, gave the state government brought them in, profiled them with the police and the DSS, the State Security Service. And then they were now handed over to the military. They were trained with the mandate to protect their communities, not to go and attack any other person. Because one, the military, the armed forces, we are not many. We can't be everywhere. There is no country that have security forces everywhere. So their own intent is, the mandate for them is protect your community while the main forces are coming. So you delay them until that. And that's how we have used them. And frankly speaking, they've given us a lot of, because one, they know the areas very well. They know the area. They can tell you where IEDs are, which routes are clear and all this. And so we use that correct. But what we found out in the Northwest is a lot of this were not done. And the danger is don't ever allow a training to be viewed the perception of that using one ethnic group. Like I told you from beginning, the issues were Hausa, Fulani. Now, if you have civilian JTF that is only Hausa, what would the Fulani feel? He will feel threatened. And that is what is causing the problem. If you sit down now to look at in Katsina State, how many have been killed so far? Because one, they operate in Northeast, they operate with the security forces. There is no operation they don't go together. So the security forces will give them that experience and the tactics to use. In this other area, they want to go alone. And you know that they've started also vendetta, starting to also settle personal scores. So they've derailed from the main objective of protecting their communities to settling personal. Some of them now have started settling land issues, marital issues, things that are not part of what they are supposed to do, because again, they were not controlled.
On the issue of the Northwest crisis, CDS, you say you didn't mention it. It's a delicate, it's a delicate thread or delicate line to discuss about the Hausa Fulani issue. If you ask me what is the difference between Hausa and Fulani, I'm an Hausa Fulani man. Most of the gentlemen you see here, they are Hausa Fulanis. Perhaps when we listen to the efforts of Katsina State tomorrow or thereabout, the deputy governor or with the commissioner for internal security will be able to tell us what is it really. But our moral values have decayed. From our roots, the traditional leadership system has been eroded. You can see back home what happened. The traditional rulers have been made to look, next to nothing. And they play a significant role. While growing, I never gave them a space. I was never their fan. But, when I grew into an adult, I got to realize that, yes, they contribute a lot to the security of our local communities, which also speak to the issue of, community policing.
So virtually almost everyone. And I also want to appreciate the fact that the herder-farmer clash laid the foundation of where we are today. Of course, there was that crisis before. But what is happening today is criminality, and the issue of control of resources has also set in. We have abundant mineral resource, and most of the illegal mining activities that is going on in the country, particularly this Northwest region, we have support for external factors over control of illegal mining activities, particularly in Zamfara and Katsina State. So much abundance of gold, lithium, name them all, we have them. And part of what we did to ensure that we support the security and try to deal with the criminality issue, we look at all that has been going on, inadequate resources, personnel and whatever on the part of the conventional security forces. And we have no option than to come up with a homegrown initiative or involve the locals to protect themselves. The recruitment process we went through was one that is supposed to be done even by the conventional security forces. Because no politician was involved in the recruitment process, we started with 8 frontline local governments, where we recruited 1,466 personnel. And the imams, the traditional rulers, and all the other opinion leaders were involved in vetting the people that we selected. And the training we gave them was a normal conventional training, because we have some retired military officers from the state who volunteered to train them along with the military training. So we deployed them back to their communities, and we have a joint operations. I want to admit that even if there is no synergy anywhere between the security forces and the locally trained vigilante or whatever we have it in Katsina State, we enjoy the support of all the security forces. I personally, as a deputy governor, I coordinated the entire security operations which we conducted at least for a period of 1 month to allow our people to go to farms. The military, the DSS, the police, all of them were involved. And we are monitoring weekly the performance, and we made sure that there's absolute synergy and control by the security forces on what the operations that was carried out by the Security Watch Corps. So also, we didn't even stop at the connected approach. We also look at the non-connected approach. We realize the role this traditional institution can play into this. For the first time, we recruited 6,652 ward heads and put them on payroll in Kaduna State, just to support the security architecture. Apart from those that we recruited and trained under the Community Watch Corps, because virtually Kaduna is more than 90% Muslim population, so we also had to involve the ulamas, the religious leaders. We have 2,550 mosques in Kaduna State. We made sure that we recruited at least 3 people, the imam, the assistant imam, and the ladan. We put them on payroll, and they are also assisting us in preaching against this violence and other criminal activities. And they form part of the community security committees across the state. So these are some of the things that I feel that I should share with the Chief of Defense Staff and other people that happens to be around. And most of the other initiatives that we have done, I'll address it in my presentation tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me. This has been a very exciting session, and I couldn't have asked for a more eloquent and elaborate panel. General Musasa and Professor Prinsloo. Could we put our hands together as a show of appreciation of a very, very well articulated panel discussion? I think we can break off now and